Now, what happens when God reveals himself to a person? What happens to that person when God reveals himself to him? That person feels more responsibility in life. In other words, in the other religions, God reveals himself to you. That's it. You are spaced out. You are in nirvana. You passed over to the other side. You went through the door. You went over the line. You went through the red light, the white light, whatever it is. Go directly to go, get out of jail. That's it. You made it. In Judaism, exactly the opposite. When God reveals himself to someone, that person feels more activated, more dynamic, more responsible to the world. Because God put us here into the world to fix the world, not for ourselves. All the other religions, without any exception, all say that you are going to get a big revelation, and you are going to go to heaven, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and I will feel, I will go, I will fly, I will know, I will this. Everything is for me. In Judaism, if you look at the 5 books of Moses, it doesn't even mention heaven or hell. Why doesn't it mention heaven or hell? There is such a thing. It's part of Jewish faith that there's heaven and hell. But the idea is it's selfish to serve God for that reason. It's selfish. There's a lot of Jews that do, a lot of religious Jews that do. That's the big motivation for a lot of groups, a lot of, movements in Judaism. In Chabad, and Chassidut in general, and Chabad specifically, it is totally not a motivation. It's a stinky motivation. If you have to have it, okay. If I have to have it, a person, in order not to sin, don't light candles don't light the lights on Shabbos, so burn in hell. So the person says, okay, I don't want to burn in hell. I'm going to die one day.
It's better to have a motivation than not.
It's better to have that motivation, but to stay with that motivation means that you're just a different type of selfishness. Okay, you're a selfishness that didn't hurt anybody, you didn't do anything, but it's not. That's not where it's at.
Not productive.
Not productive, right? It's not responsible. So that's what God wants. Why did he reveal himself to everybody? Because he wants everyone to feel responsible to God and to the world. Because that's what God is responsible. God himself is responsible to the world. He's creating the world. He's not creating the world just because the world is this big maze, like the Eastern religions say. He's creating this big maze, and you just go around, right? Finally, you get out. You make it. You get out. You believe in this. You eat that book. You do this thing, Alice in Wonderland. You get out. Judaism says, no, we are in this world and we want to be in the world. And that was what began with Mount Sinai. When God gave the Torah on Sinai, he showed that that's what he wants to come into the world. That this world is tremendously, tremendously important. Much more important than going to heaven.
We love life.
We love life, right? And even more than loving life is a Jew loves life without responsibility is meaningless, right? It's freedom. That was Professor Viktor Frankl. He wanted to make, on the east coast of America, there's a Statue of Liberty. He wanted to make a Statue of Responsibility on the west coast. That's good, because the Rebbe very much held from his ideas.
Did it happen? Probably not.
No, they're working on it. Who knows? I'm not involved in this project.
Religions think that in death you get all the good stuff.
Right.
You believe you're in life, you get to do good
right.
stuff.
That's why death is so sad.
Right. But for us, obviously, a lot of the books in Judaism are saying that all the good, all the reward and all the good stuff is in after death.
Right, but not in Chabad. Not in Chabad. That's the Mesulah Sheshorim and the Path of Adjustment.
And then we're saying,
Ramchal
actually says that it says that the whole point of a person being alive is to figure out what his mission is in this world.
In this world.
And that's mainly to see how we can better the world, obviously, right? So that's why it would be considered.
That's what it is. But you have to better the world according to what God wants. Not personally. And there are movements in the world that are called Tikkun Olam, a new thing with Judaism. Tikkun Olam. They're going to fix up the world. They're going to fix up the world not according to the Torah. It's like finding somebody that got in an automobile accident in the street and running and hugging him and kissing him. And you're breaking all of his bones. You're doing the worst thing.
We're going to get a good world for gay people.
Right. It's not good for them either. It's not good. A person that does what he wants. Listen, Judaism comes to teach us that what you want to do is rarely a sign of what's really good. Sometimes it is. Not that everything you do is bad. You don't have to sit in a bed of nails or whatever. But rarely is what you want to do the right thing to do. Show the values. But on the other hand, when a person really reveals and feels what God really wants him to do, then you can really feel a true happiness. It's a total different happiness. It's a total different happiness. It's like the difference between the different happiness between stealing and being honest. Right? If you steal and you're a successful thief, let's see. Let's move a chair over there. Here, you know what? Take this chair here. King's chair. Here. You don't mind? Put it over there. Thank you very much.
There?
Yeah.
Move it over there, sir.
Oh, you want to put it there? Good.
It's the camera there. So put it on that side.
Yeah.
I can do it on that side.
That's all right. Okay. So everyone agrees. All the other holidays, it says that you can either devote all of your time to God, or you can devote it to eating and etc. But on Chag Shavuot, everyone agrees that you have to enjoy it yourself. You have to eat. You have to have a good meal on the holiday of Shavuot. Shavuot Lamed, it says. Chag Shavuot Yelachem. You have to see the pasuk, but that's what it says in the Gemara and Pesachim. In Pesach and Sukkot, it's good enough. Begashmiut Labad or Ruchni Labad. In holiday of Sukkot or in the holiday of Pesach, you can open the door a little bit if you want. It gets stuffy here. Yeah, open it even more. You can open it totally. Because they're in classes now. In the holiday of Sukkot, in the holiday of Shavuot, you can take your choice. Either it can be totally spiritual or totally physical. But in the holiday of Shavuot, you have to Ilu b'atzirat, but in the holiday of Atzirat, Atzirat is Shavuot, Hakol modim sheyesh tzorech lachem, it is necessary to have a nice meal, to enjoy yourself. B'chadira penimius shetakef et kol inyani adam. What does it mean it has to be for you? What's such a big thing that you should eat a good meal? You can eat a good meal anytime. The idea is to you, it means that it has to come inside of you. The Torah has to be a personal thing. It has to come into you. The holiday of Pesach is good enough you eat the matzah. The holiday of Sukkot is good enough you shake the lulav. It's good. What are you supposed to do on Sukkot? On Shavuos? There's no mitzvahs to do. What do? You're supposed to take the Torah to heart. The Torah is supposed to take it inside, to enjoy it. She'or lo yishaer b'chag HaShavuot bilvad, that this light of the holiday of Shavuos, the godliness, the feeling that God is creating us and God gives the Torah and God really cares for us, therefore He gave us the Torah, should not remain just in the holiday alone. Ki im yif'al b'kol hashana, but it should have an effect on every day of the year. Lo rak b'Shabbat, not just on Shabbat and Yom Tov, elagam b'chayim yom yomim, even in day-to-day life. So what's the idea of Shavuot? The idea of Shavuot is that God wants you to feel that He really cares about you. He's creating you for a purpose, and that purpose is to do what it says in the Torah. Fix up the world. Our Rebbe, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, now do you know anything about Chabad a little bit?
I know the Rebbe's, I know that. I've been...
Very good. Okay, so the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Omar Pam, said in Hitvadut, Shehasha achat shel limud Torah Chassidut, that learning Torah, Chassidut, 1 hour, Tzoricha needs litpashet al panei kol esrim v'arba shot hayamama, should have an effect on all of the 24 hours of the day. Shebakulam, that in all of them, Yenikar should be felt, Shezeh Yehudi Halomed Chassidut, it should be recognized that this is a Jew, that he learns Chassidut. What does it mean learning Chassidut? That you're a little bit happier, that you feel a little more purpose, that you feel that your every second is a surprise, a miracle. You feel that you have an obligation to the world, to obligation to yourself, obligation to God. You're not here for nothing. You're not just here. A person feels that he's here for a purpose and for a good purpose. That Hashem really loves us and cares for us, is with each and every one of us. A person feels that. But even more, when you learn Chassidut, you feel a little bit crazy. You feel that I'm here to affect the world. It's not enough to just that the world doesn't have an effect on me. I'm here to do something good. And Kashem, and just like Shehu Lagabi Chassidut Befrat, just like it is regarding Chassidut, Kachu B'yachas L'Klal Torah, so it is regarding the entire Torah. Sha'ala Torah, when a person learns Torah, it should L'Hakif Kol Inyani Adam, it should surround all matters of a person. B'meshech Kol Yamama, the course of the whole day. Now why? Let's say for a person is learning the Gemara Pesachim. So he learns the Gemara Pesachim. It's only relevant to the holiday of Pesach. Right? So how is that supposed to encompass him the whole day if it's in the middle of the year? A person learns the Gemara Gittin. Right? Gittin means he has to divorce his wife. What's he supposed to do? Right? How is it supposed to encompass him all the day? Well, what's he supposed to do? So he says, like the Rambam says, HaChacham tzorech she'ei nikar b'ma'asav. A Chacham needs to be recognized in his deeds, etc., and how he talks. 10 things: how he walks, how he eats, how he sleeps, how he does business. All of that. Why? Because when a person learns Torah, what is he doing? He's talking directly to God. He's talking to God. It doesn't really make so much difference what you said. You're talking to God. You can talk to him anytime you want to. You sit and learn the Torah. It's like a person has a pass to go in and see Trump all the time. Right? So he goes and he sees Trump. Some people in America will say that's the worst punishment you could possibly have in the world, right? But other people will say, Trump, you talk to Trump all the time. That's amazing. That's really amazing, right? Amazing thing. Here you can talk to God anytime you want to. So even if it doesn't have an effect on the people around you, but if you have any value for what God is, like the same thing with Lahavdil Trump, if you have any value for what it is, so you think, Mom, I'm a lucky person, right? I'm a really lucky person. I just heard there was one of these senators that he and Trump had a big fight or whatever, and now they got back together again. A whole big thing. Anyway, so he realized how crooked the other people are, and he said, now Trump is playing golf with me a couple of times. He says, I'm the happiest. Can't get any better than that. He said, it can't get any better than that. There's nothing better than that, right? Here he's on good terms with the President of the United States. He likes the President of the United States. The President likes him. They share the same values. And he's with the President. It's a big deal. Here, we are with God. You sit and learn Torah, you're supposed to feel that you're with God. That's what you're supposed to feel. Of course, it's very easy to treat the Torah like any other book. As a regular book, what do you mean? It's words in a book. So when a person learns Torah, he thinks to himself, is this really true? I'm really saying God's words here. This is what I'm saying. If a person really takes it seriously, then he acts differently. Then it makes the whole day differently. Right? First of all, he knows that there's God. Second of all, he knows that God is not just this idea up in the head. I just finished talking to him. That God wants me to know that Or La'arba Asar Boltons et Chometz. Right? He wants to know that maybe get Medinas Hayom. It's called this person, called this person. That you have to know the law. These are laws that God wants. This is God speaking, even if I don't understand the word. Right? God himself, I was just talking to God. That's pretty amazing, right? But you have to feel it. It's a thing you have to feel. It's not just you say it because, I'm saying it because it's written in the book, and I'm a teacher, so I have to say it. I look this way, so you got to say it. It's a thing which is true. So in other words, I have to also sit and think to myself, is this really true what I just finished saying? I mean, I really believe it. Really talking to God, what you say. Then if you're really talking to God, it doesn't make any difference how much you learn. And it doesn't really make that much difference how much you understand, even though understanding is a big, and the more you learn is also wonderful, right? But you're talking to God just a little bit. That's a really amazing thing. So it affects you the whole entire day. That's what it's supposed to be. That's why God came down and gave the Torah, to let you know the Torah is not an inspiration book that was given to one person. The Torah is God himself talking to you right now. That's why God came. That's the holiday of Shavuot. Ki Torah doreshet birur kol inyanim agashmim, and the Torah demands you to refine every physical thing that you use or you deal with in the world. Are you using it just for yourself purely? Or are you using it for yourself, but also there's a godly purpose, right? You need money, you want to buy food, you want to buy, but also with that food, use the energy that you can do good things. You can give charity. You can birur aguf v'nefesh b'amid, purifying your body and your animal soul. And afterwards, hachelek shall call echad ba'olam, the portion of everyone in the world. V'haderech eno shel dechira v'shvira. How are you supposed to deal with the world? Not by pushing things away, not by breaking things. Ki im shel birur davka, by refining. Like the Baal Shem Tov said, azov tazov imo. You are not supposed to, according to Chassidut, you don't break your body. It's not a good thing to fast and to make yourself miserable and things like that. A person wants to fast a little tiny bit, it's okay, but keep it quiet. Don't make a big deal out of it. Right? But generally speaking, a person he becomes an egotist. He's all touchy, he's all miserable, he's all this, he thinks he's holier than everybody else. He's greater, these people are eating. I don't eat, I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm only spirit, I'm pure godliness, I'm the best person in the world. Usually that's what happens. And also he's also very nervous. People fast. Huh? He becomes the next Muhammad. That's right. That's why he became so aggravated. He fasted a lot. He was so miserable. He just went and killed everybody. And they said, "This is who we want. Oh, this is our guy. This is the man." Huh? Right. right. Everything in the world can be used for godliness, except for the things, of course, that the Torah says cannot be used. You have to. What is a chassid? A chassid is a person that does not fool himself. That's what my teacher, blessed memory, told me. It's a saying from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. It's very, very deep. Chassid is a person that doesn't fool himself. Right? A person that thinks, now I'm going to use the world, I'm going to purify it, and he starts to do everything that he wants to, anything that feels good. It's a sign that, this is where I've been drawn to. This is my birur in the world, to purify this. A person can make some tragic mistakes. There was a terrible, evil person that exactly did that. That was Shabbatai Tzvi. That's what Shabbatai Tzvi did. He said you can do whatever you feel is good. You just have to make a blessing, think about God. Exactly the same ideas, but misusing them. So we have to use the world, but according to the way the Torah says, but we must use the world properly. Very, very important. And not for ourselves, but for the world. Where do we learn that from? From Hashem. Hashem came down on Mount Sinai. He didn't do it for himself. He did it to make a perfect world. That's what it means. Azov tazov imo. The Baal Shem Tov said, if you see the donkey of your enemy suffering under its burden, then help him. The donkey is chamor, means chumriut, your physical body. And it's suffering under the Yetzer Hora. So it says, don't mortify yourself. What you should do is azov tazov imo. Help the body. How? By learning Torah, by doing commandments, by doing positive things. Not easy job to do. Not easy job. It's much easier to say, I'm not going to eat anymore, I'm not going to sleep anymore, I'm not going to live in a house, I'm not going to get married. There's people that did that. I'm not going to get married, I won't have anything to do with people, I'm going to be holy, I'm going to be great. Gimel. Ne'amar, there's a saying, Yesh chachma b'goyim ta'amin. Yesh Torah b'goyim al ta'amin. If someone tells you there's wisdom by the non-Jews, believe it. There are some very wise non-Jews, very wise, very deep sayings by the non-Jews. But if someone tells you there's Torah, don't believe it. If a non-Jew says, I'm giving advice because this I got from experience, this I got from my wisdom, do it. If he says, God told me what to say, don't believe it. It's not so. The non-Jews do not have Torah. The non-Jews can pretend they do. They can take ideas from the Torah. But they haven't got such a thing as Torah. They can have wisdom, they can have Confucius, they have these people, and they can have spiritual ideas. Right? But the non-Jews do not have Torah. What's the difference between Torah and wisdom? What's the difference between the two? We'll see. Okay, the Rebbe is going to say something, and then I'm going to explain what the Rebbe wants to say. in order to understand an idea, for instance, a philosopher. You ever learned philosophy before? Don't do it. I did. I got a degree in philosophy. One of the biggest waste of times you could possibly have. But if you already did it, okay. What is philosophy? There's these people with great minds, really truly great minds, and they sit and they try to figure out what is reality, what is values, ethics, what is knowledge, epistemology, what is the heavens, where did everything come from, right? Come from, where is it? Cosmology, teleology, all these. Is there such a thing as God? What is God? What is the idea of God? And then it merges into psychology and psychiatry. All these ideas that the non-Jews have, they're based on certain axioms. Axioms, right? And the philosophers, usually they're the ones that set these axioms. They're the ones that set these basic basis of what is knowledge, right? Kant set, and he did the logical imperative, right? What is the basis of all reality? What's his name? Descartes says that I think, therefore I am. This is the basis of all knowledge.
That would be an axiom.
An axiom. In other words, you can't go further than this. Everything is built upon this. It's built on this. First step. This is the first step. You can't get anything more basic than that, right? Some of them have pretty stupid axioms. For instance, there is no such thing as truth. No such thing as truth. Everything is relative, which is pretty stupid because you say no such thing as truth. Yeah, that statement you just made, that no such thing as truth, is that statement true? That statement is true? Of course it's true. So there's something that's true. That's true. It's not true. Everything.
If it's not true, then they're right.
Then right. Okay, so is there? Everything is subjective. Everything is objective. Everything is this. All of the axioms from all the philosophies and all of these ideas, they all are based on a basic foundation. That foundation itself has no basis. Has no basis. Because if that foundation of theirs has a basis, so then that's not the foundation. There's something below that has a foundation. Right? So what is the basic of all of the philosophies? Whatever it is, it's man-made. It's man-made. And if it's man-made, it means it's based on water, on nothing. Right? It can change tomorrow. Like there's a joke that they say that once there was a man, a child prodigy. At 5 years old, he already had memorized the whole Encyclopedia Britannica. He went to university. When he was 10 years old, he had PhDs in 7-8 subjects, mathematics and philosophy and art, everything. When he was 15 years old, he decided he's going to go to the mountains of Himalayas and discover the truth. So he went up in the mountains of Himalayas. Once in a while, they go and they check up on him. And of course, he's just sitting there in this, transcendental state. 50 years later, he announces he knows the truth. He knows the truth. They come up and they ask him, have you found the truth yet? Doesn't answer. After 50 years, I know the truth. All of the media goes up there. They're all up with cameras, with this and that. No, great master. You've been sitting here for 50 years meditating on the truth. You're the smartest man, highest IQ regarded. What is the truth? So he said, the truth is a fish. So they said, what? What does that mean? So he said, maybe it's not a fish.
It's like guessing for a test. Like, what's the answer? I don't know.
Right.
Wait, maybe I do.
So in other words, he sat 50 years and he made up a thing, and all of a sudden somebody came, and the basis of all truth, and suddenly somebody came along and said, maybe not. It was man-made axioms, man-made, truths are not true. That's the big difference between Judaism and science. Science does not know the truth. It can't know the truth. That's the essence of science, that they declare that if anybody finds a better answer, a better method of doing things, we will drop everything that we've believed and we'll do this. That's what science is. Science is based on the idea that if something works better than what we say, we're open to it. And science is not religion. Science is not religion. So anything that a person can say, anything that a person can think, any ideas that a person has, whatever, you're going to go to heaven, you step on a crack, you break your mother's back. No matter what is, it's all human made. That's why it says, Chachma b'goyim tamin. Non-Jews are certainly very wise people. You see that they've made the world a very good place. Sometimes when their wisdom falls into the bad hands, like the really wise people, the Germans, the most civilized and cultured nation maybe in history, they developed these most civilized ways of killing people, and with the least amount of effort. Amazing minds that they had. Okay, so let's see. In order to understand any idea, you have to have, first of all, a basis. Maskalas Rishonos means a basic axiom. Ulaklali hachachma, and generalities, principles of knowledge. As they say, klale hegayon, principles of thought, or in simple English, logic. Logic, you can take courses in the university logic. Fa'al pi shtei davarim elu, and according to these two things, namely having a firm base upon which to build your ideas and having general principles to use to build upon this basis, then you can come to your ideas. Right? So Darwin came to his ideas that there is the survival of the fittest, and this because he had a certain axiom, right? He saw that there was such a thing as evolution. Because he had evolution, that's a basic truth, so he said. So therefore he's going to find out how to explain this whole thing. Lefiza, according to this, it's like Greek philosophy. There was this guy who just died. What was his name? Hawking. Right? It was a physicist, an astronomer. So he said that the world came from a black hole and everything. What was his basic assumption? Always something existed. Couldn't be that there was God that created nothing from something. Something always existed. With that basic assumption, he can build what was that first something that existed, that always existed. It's beyond time. It's beyond, what is that first? So he looked and he searched and he found, right? Some people say it's gravity. Some people say it's anti-gravity. But he came with a basic assumption. But according to this basic and according to this basic axiom that you have, and according to the principles that you're going to use to build on it, they themselves, those basic axioms that you make, they are not resting on any axiom themselves. There's nothing before them. It only depends on the will of the philosopher. The philosopher, if this seems right to him, that this is an axiom or not. If this original idea, this seems to be nice in his eyes, he likes the idea, then he will accept the idea. But if you have any doubt about the first axiom, then he won't accept any of the conclusions. This also works in politics, it works in other things. Communism. Communism is based on the idea that money is the root of all evil. And unequal distribution of money is what causes all the troubles of the world. That is a basic axiom by them.
So how does that connect to, like, all the communism? A lot of the communism is focused on the Jews. How would that be connected, like the root of all evil? Because Jews are with the money?
No. Okay, so what does communism say? Not that, listen, ideally it wasn't just the Jews, it was all religion. Because their idea is that all the time that the rich people have all the money, so they have all the power. And they keep all the poor people in poverty so that they can't do anything except for work. They have to work in order just to feed themselves. If they stop working, or if they do anything to put their job in danger, then they won't have any food. So the rich people, so therefore the poor people, they have to rebel. They have to be discontented. And what's the big enemy of discontent? Religion. That's what they say. Religion keeps people from being discontented. This is the will of God. Opiate of the master. This is what God wants. God wants you to be poor, wants this to be rich, like the caste system. That's the way things are supposed to be. Don't rock the boat.
Right.
Comes along, what's his name, Marx, whatever, and he says, we must rock the boat. Revolution is the only way to free the people from the yoke of the proletariat. The proletariat, the rich people? Or the bourgeois, the proletariat, the workers, of the bourgeois, of the upper class. The upper class, they are
The happy people.
They are the happy people, and we're. Oh, bourgeois means happy people. That's what it means.
Joie is happy. Joyeuse is happy. Joie is happy.
Oh, good. Okay, good. That's good.
They good. That's for sure. It's a whole story with the queen of France.
Let them eat cake, right? Marie Antoinette. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that basic axiom is you equalize money or get rid of money totally, and everybody's going to be happy. Where'd you get that idea from? It's an axiom. Has it ever been tested before? Maybe, who knows? Maybe in small communes or something it worked. Who knows? I never read Marx. I'm sorry, I never read him, but I read about him. So, that axiom. According to that axiom, therefore, then there's religion. Religion says we have a basic axiom. What's the basic axiom? You're going to die. You're going to go to heaven. You want to go to heaven? Do what we say. Basic axiom. Other people come and say, yes, I agree, you're going to die. Who says you're going to go to heaven? Maybe you're not going to get heaven. And who says your way is the way to heaven? Maybe my way is. And one guy comes along and says, God told me that my way is the way to go to heaven. Another person said, he didn't tell you, he told me my way is to go to heaven. And so all these people have all these axioms that they made up. Okay, comes along Judaism, and Judaism says, listen, we got some axioms, but they were given by the creator of the universe, and they were given to everybody. Every Jew, and eventually to the whole world, right? The problem with them is that what? A lot of them are not so nice. It means you got to work. It means you have responsibility. It means tremendously difficult. And you always have to work to be more and more active and more proactive and more positive all the time, and to deal with this world and to fix things up.
That's why the Jewish axioms don't really go. That's why none of the other religions really go with them, because according to them, the philosophy isn't correct. The axioms are not based on what they believe.
Right. They make up their own ideas. Zu achas hochachos. This is one of the proofs that seichel, intellect itself, mochiach sheyesh lizdakek l'lamayla min seichel. That intellect itself demands that you rely on something above intellect. Why? Mishum shebeseichel gufo. Because if you base your whole life only on what is logical, murga sheshoreshu makoro eno seichel. Because you can feel that somehow or other what I'm really basing my life on is something above understanding. It was, what am I saying? I'm saying intellect is everything. Where'd you get that idea, intellect is everything? Because that's the way I feel. Oh, well, that feeling, that's intellect, that feeling. Listen, leave me alone. Right? That's what I think. That's the highest you can get. He says intellect itself dictates that intellect is not a firm base of understanding the world, because intellect itself is based on feeling, on what I understand. Shekain anakuda hayesodit shemimenu novat kol haskala, because the first basis axiom eino mechuyevet mitzad haseichel, because this basic axiom that you have is not intellectual. You just laid down a foundation that goes according to your feelings, not according to some sort of a conclusion. Because if this axiom is based on some sort of a conclusion, then that conclusion, that's the axiom, right? Not the basis that you have. Ki'im nikvas kikach motza chen beina, because this is what a person decides, because this is what he likes. So therefore, you get people like, for instance, there was in when World War II started. Also, you can see it in Israel. You don't have to go so far. Different political movements, different religious movements. Why? They're all based on feelings. This person says, no, communism is better because that's the way I feel. This person says, no, the fascism is better because that's what this person says capitalism is better because that's the way I feel. Everybody's basing themselves on what they feel, right? They feel, and they call it being logical. So it ends up that the whole thing is just based on feelings. Because of that, so everyone has a different feeling. Everybody believes something else. Everybody has a different axiom. This is the difference between man and the Torah. If a person accepts ideas, we're on the paragraph that starts off with the word zeh. Zeh. If a person wants to accept a certain philosophical idea, this depends on his disposition. If these ideas find favor in a person's mind, then he comes to certain conclusions. This is not the wisdom itself that brings him to this good feeling. Lo Kain Torah, which is not the case of Torah. Okay, you want to see where we are? First one in line is Cain. It is on page 240 there. First one line. What is the Torah? The Torah is not based on human feeling. It's like it says in the Zohar, Shetorah milashon hora'ah. That the Torah, the word Torah, comes from teaching. HaTorah malamedet adam. A Torah comes to teach a person. Et tzarich, what is necessary. Et mutar, what is permissible. Et asur, what is forbidden. She'em shlosh kabutzot. These are three general categories. Asur, things that are forbidden. Reshut, things that are optional. You can do it or not do it, whatever you want. It's called reshut. And mitzvahs, things which you must do. The Torah od doreshet, and the Torah also demands lafoch, that we should transform et davar hareshut lemitzvah, things that are optional, that we should make them into mitzvahs. In other words, we should attach everything we do, our car, our clothes, our house, everything should be made holy, devoted to the Creator. You put a mezuzah on your door, right? What do you do with your car? You drive to good places. You do good things with your car, right? Etc. You're not going to go racing with your car, and you're not going to go doing wheelies or something like that just to impress people. No purpose in it. Right? I remember I had these friends in university, all sorts of friends. One guy had a racing car, and not a racing car like in Europe. In America, they go a straight line, right? The American, right, and muscle car, and it had these huge tires on it, huge tires. And I got in the car, and he said, "Come for a ride." There were two of us. One of his friends said, "Come on, burn rubber." It was called burning rubber. So he said, "No, I don't want to. It's expensive. These tires cost a lot of money." He said, "No, come on, do it." He said, "Okay." All right, he convinced him. So he revved it up a couple of times, and he popped the clutch. And there was this huge smoke in back of us. This huge thing of smoke. And we really didn't go that fast, because it was just spinning rubber. Finally, when it caught up, it really took off. The car really took off, and it was really quite, shocking, to tell you the truth. But in the beginning, who knows, maybe $100 the guy wasted just to make a good impression on who? Who did he make an impression on? Not even on one guy, on the people behind. That messed up the whole neighborhood. It was all smoke with all this smell of rubber, and we didn't see anything particularly. We just heard. So people do things with no real purpose, and certainly no godly purpose. Nothing to improve the creation, or to just to improve themselves. Maybe they think to get more attention, and it really does the exact opposite. It says the Torah demands that we should transform the world into holiness. Let's just do up to Dalet. HaTorah madricha et adam. The Torah leads a person. It does without considering what the person thinks. If a person likes it, then he'll take it. If he doesn't like it, he won't take it. The Torah is telling what the truth is. HaTorah Moreh teaches, v'doreshet and demands from us. It doesn't make any difference what you want or what you don't. And nowadays it's coming more and more into. We'll have to stop here. There's a class now. Into into regular things. For instance, smoking. Smoking is bad for you, but people like to smoke. So they say, okay, you know what? It's forbidden to advertise smoking. So they don't advertise smoking. And they see people still smoke. This is why? Because they advertise something else, but a person is smoking. This is, oh, you can't advertise a person smoking. And you have to put on it, it's dangerous to your health. You have to write on it. So that helped a little bit. Like the doctors tell, but nevertheless, the fact of the matter is, if a person sees an advertisement with someone smoking, then he'll smoke. Can't hold himself back. So people do things that are bad for them. That are bad for them. The doctors are telling them, this is bad, it hurts you. A person says, no one's going to tell me what to do. I'm doing what I want. That's not a sensible person, right? As we'll talk about more, which is not the case of the Torah. Good.
Thank you.